and I was shooting for that. You know, I wanted to be Mr. Recovery, and I almost like I'm running for fucking president or something, you know, like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, 3.5 years ago, I was a homeless junkie. So what am I doing? You know, and like, it was cool to, it's been a journey, you know, and obviously I've ruffled some feathers along the way, but now I'm okay with, you know, laughter is a big part of me, and humor is a big part of me. And the people that get to know me know that it comes from an innocent place, but that shit, you know, might rub you the wrong way.
And I got news for you, man. Like, if you go roll through life without laughing at these silly jokes and apostures memes that you're posting, like, you might want to look in the mirror and like kind of like evaluate yourself, because life's not that serious, dude.
No, I can't take it that serious, man. I'm already stressed the fuck out anyway. You know, if I can laugh at a meme, I'm gonna take a minute and jiggle it up,
and then share it with all your thousands of friends.
And then I want everybody else to see it too.
You ever been out this way, man? Out to the west?
So we're out here close to Western Carolina. So I've definitely been out here, committed a few heinous acts, if you will. I've definitely stolen from this Walmart. I'm pretty sure I'm outside of the statute of limitations.
I hope so.
That's allegedly, anyway. There was a guy who he's a good-looking guy, but he looked just like me. Yeah, I've been up to the Western campus. I've been up to the Pike House. You know, all those different things. Biggest parties I've ever been to, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're an Asheville native.
Yeah, I'm born there.
Okay.
Moved around a ton. So just a product of a misspent youth, if you will. You know, like my mom had me when she was 19. So, you know, she's a kid, man. I can't imagine trying to have a kid at 19. I
can't imagine having a kid right now.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing now, you know? So, you know, she had me then, and then, like, it was a lot of moving around. But I've been primarily here for most of the time. I moved out to California and Oregon and different things, but, like, a year at a time here and there.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
So I work at New Life Recovery. Plug, you know what I'm saying? Sober living program. I've got around 90-something guys that are in the program, and like it's different 3/4 houses, halfway houses. You know, they get drug tested, they come and see a CSAC, those kind of things, man. I'm recovery coach certified too, and I came through that program, and I've been through every program you can get in Asheville, pretty much. And I'm a state-funded baby. There's no health insurance involved here, you know. So a place like that really helped me, and luckily, I decided to stay clean this time and like really try what you guys were telling me, to work a program and things like that. And so it became the opportunity where I could give back to the program that helped me. And and I was offered a job, and it's been dope ever since. It's the most rewarding job I've ever had. I've definitely made more money.
Yeah.
But there's something about, you know, seeing a guy come back to life. It's priceless.
Yeah.
You
know? Getting that transformation from like finding recovery, sustaining a little bit of recovery, and then finding yourself like working in the field.
Yeah.
Did you?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Did you? What was that process like? Did you? Was that always like your goal when you found recovery, and like was that something that was immediately on your radar? Like, I'm gonna be of service and find myself working in.
Maybe. Here's what I saw when I came back into recovery this time. So this is definitely not my first shot at it. But this time, like, I understood the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel, and I saw that. And so if it wasn't for those people that showed up for me and like helped me, then I wouldn't be where I was at. And so I definitely wanted to give that back. Did I see that as like, I didn't see the monetary gain there. You know, it was more about just
the service work itself,
right,
and not the long-term.
It was almost
career.
selfish too, man, because it feels fantastic to fucking help somebody, you know.
Yeah.
So almost, it's like a selfless act.
Yeah, I say that. I've said that before on this podcast, that like when I started it, and even like in the very early stages of it, it was out of pure selfishness. Pure selfishness.
It's
like,
okay, we can admit that.
To have these conversations and to get to know people like you, and like I didn't expect anybody to even listen. I was telling you earlier, but just more out of like pure greed for me, and even like for my recovery.
Right.
To cultivate these kind of authentic relationships, and like spew my guts and talk shit and all that stuff.
Right.
And it's like transformed into so much more. And like I've shared, the audience is probably sick of me saying it, but I've shared that like it has now become a part of my recovery.
Yeah.
You know, but I can totally relate to where you're coming from and saying that like it was out of kind of some underlying greed that like
Right.
that there's more than just like the service aspect of it. How long have you worked there?
Let's see. Right at 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find it difficult to, did you or do you even find it difficult to like separate like your own personal recovery from like on the job, Michael, to, how do you balance that?
So
Outside of the meme game, how
here's
do you
the
balance
thing
it?
about me is like, once again, man, it's kind of, you see what you get, you know, or you get what you see, however you like, and that's the thing. So is it tough for me to leave my office and then I'm going to go to a meeting and then, you know, somebody's going to come up and go, hey man, I want a curfew extension or something, you know, and I'm like, all right, I'm here for me, so I'm off the clock, you know, cut it. But honestly, man, like it doesn't take much to try and help somebody. Recovery is me.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a huge part of my identity. So I have to keep that in mind before I try to separate myself, you know? Of course, there's personal aspects. You know, when I meet with city council members or some shit like that, I try to.
You talk to city council
I
members?
mean, you know, we've met. Yeah. So, you know, I try to keep it as professional as possible, but, you know.
Many of the people who have sat in that chair,
Mm-hmm.
they experienced the burnout, and they kind of put their personal recovery to the side. Their meeting attendance will start slacking off. The focus is placed on the job and the career path.
Yeah.
And they really struggle and lose sight of what they need to do to keep themselves right.
Right.
How do you do it?
So that's been a thing that's been preached to me since I started this whole thing. And honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, it could just be where I'm at right now, that I'm not, it just doesn't seem possible, man, because I spend I'll have a 12-hour day in my office, and then it's emotionally exhausting. I've got guys coming to me, which I am super grateful for, that they trust me and know that I have their best interest at heart, that they'll confide in me and these kind of things. That's emotionally taxing. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know, all my other jobs before, you know, I worked in sales and different things. Like, sure, I got to be on the go, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm okay. This is exhausting because I'm passionate about it, you know, and so I pour a lot into it, and I feel it coming out of me. So at the end of the day, there's no way that I'm not going to a meeting. I have to come. I have to get something back. I've poured out all day, so I have to go and do that. And so I found like a solid balance with that. My job is not my recovery. You know, does it add to it? Absolutely. But there's no way that I could replace what I do for work and my program of recovery. I haven't experienced a burnout.
That takes a solid level of self-awareness, though, to like recognize
so.
that, because it's so much easier to grab a bag of Doritos and head to the house.
Yeah. But bro, if I do that, I'm gonna feel like a shit bag. You know, I'm gonna sit home and isolate. And I've been guilty of it. I know the feeling. I found it. But thank God I've just listened to the people that have worked a program of recovery and what it takes to do that, and like I've adhered to it. I've tried it my way many, many times.
It's very clear.
Yeah, and then it's always ended with the same result, you know? So I'll do what I'm told now.
Yeah.
Which is tough for me, man. I'm a stubborn fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you first found recovery, and how did you discover like what was going to work this time? Right? How did you take what you had learned in past experiences, past attempts, gain some knowledge, some wisdom from those experiences, and then find your place in the recovery scene in Asheville, and like find those people that were going to support you through the process? Like what was the learning
Oh, bro.
Like,
well, once again,
how many people did you piss off in your first meeting?
once again, so I'm a big dumb animal here. So the learning curve was extravagant, if you will. Man, I started to try to get clean at 24. I think that's when I went to my first detox. That's actually where I met Philip Cooper at. And then, and I didn't put any time, not real time. I might have had some abstinence here and there until 32. So in that 8 years, seven years of fucking around, those are where the life lessons come from, you know? Luckily, I lived through it. So it's been like, I take one lesson, you know, like you told me to, I'm going to do my very best not to blast off anonymity or some shit, but like in the
That was his disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. I'm going to say some shit, and if you're offended, call your sponsor. So, each time I learned a lesson, cause I fuck up, man, I make mistakes, and listen, I've come to be okay with that, cause it's going to happen again. So I kept making mistakes, and the only thing that I did right, I think, through that was look at it and try to do something different. But it wasn't taking all the suggestions, that's for damn sure. I thought, you know, I could find a way, that I'm smarter than you, that I've got something that I could figure out, you know. And then so I took quite a few beatings along the way, to where now it's my complete surrender came from a beating, not from a decision. You know, life beat my ass enough, so I'm like, okay. I'll just the white flag's coming up.
I think a part of that is just like something that's just ingrained in our DNA, that like we just want to like figure shit out on our own, right? And like my way is the way that's going to work, regardless of like how I came to that conclusion. Right. This is the way I'm going to do it.
And my distorted view and whatever substance is influencing that view. God.
Yeah, for sure. How about the people, though? The people, like your tribe, like the crew. Because you got a solid crew around you.
Oh, yeah.
You got a solid support system.
That I take no credit. Those people keep me where I'm supposed to be. I've tried doing it by myself. It's not a thing. And I legit tried. I put in some solid effort to be the man. I can't do it. Yeah. So, yeah, my people around me. So, you know, honestly, man, it comes from, I guess, when the heart speaks, the heart hears it, you know? And, like, these people come at me with some love, you know? And, like, regardless of, I was homeless, you know, this time around. And, like, and I come into the rooms. I'm just going to fucking say Narcotics Anonymous because that place saved my life, and call me later. So anyway, I came into those rooms, and like those people still accepted me and didn't judge me and didn't treat me like the homeless junkie that I was, you know, like they didn't hit me with that kind of stuff. And then I heard other people saying that they came from the same place and that this was possible. And it was really my first feeling of like hope, you know. I'm an addict, and that's, there's no disputing that. I've tried, you know, plenty of times. So I'm okay with that today, but I tried to fight it. And then once I come to terms with it, I'm like, okay, I'm an addict. These are the cards I'm dealt. So I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off, you know, and like that's stealing, robbing, all that shit. Like that's what I'm going to be. And those people gave me hope that I didn't have to be that. So I adhered to that. And then once again, I'm just a loud, goofy fucking guy. So, you know, people kind of gravitate to watch the car crash. You
watch
know?
the shit show.
Right. It's like when you're driving by a car crash, you don't want to look, but you have to. And here I am.
There's no stopping you.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the sleeveless wreck.
But you figured it out, and it worked.
Well, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
right.
You wouldn't
and
be
honestly,
sitting here.
No. It did. And honestly, it's like, it comes down to a few simple suggestions that I just wasn't willing to adhere to or
So
take.
why that time? Why all of a sudden?
Valid question. Honestly, I think maybe complete surrender. Maybe, you know, I found my rock bottom, and then I built a basement in that motherfucker, and then I dug a hole in that, you know, and like, shit, man, I could have kept digging, you know, for sure, until death was my bottom, and then you guys are left holding the bag, you know? So, like, I guess I came to terms with my way is just not working. And so that rock bottom, this is the craziest disease, because it takes like some life experience to beat the fuck out of you before you kind of come to terms with something, you know? And like, so I don't know of anything else that does that kind of thing to you, you know? But like, I want that for everyone, which sounds crazy. But if it takes you you know, 3.5 years ago, I was sleeping in a pile of mulch outside of Mission Hospital, you know, and like that seemed okay with me because that was my way of life. So if it takes something like that, I want everybody to get it, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's exactly what I needed. So why is it different this time? I just found it in me that I wanted something different.
Yeah.
I was gonna listen to somebody. Honestly, I thought I'd maybe give this 90 days. You know, just give it a shot. I know how to get fucked up, so I'll give this a shot. If not, I know what I can go back to. Yeah. I think that's it. That's a good question, man. I haven't really dove into it.
For me, it was consequences.
Oh,
and
yeah. Come on.
there was like,
Say it again.
I was that dude that there was always somebody to blame, right? It was
Oh, yeah.
always somebody else's fault. The cops, you know, did this
Yeah.
to
Oh,
me, or my
I always had a story.
girlfriend put me out. There was always some shit, some shady shit that I was spinning
Right.
to make it look like I was an innocent dude, right? And when it came down to it, I was facing some consequences, and I'm looking around, and there was nobody else to blame. And so I was
Eventually.
yeah,
Right.
eventually. And fortunately, I was alive, and I was, you know, had some options.
Yeah.
And you know, I can remember like getting bailed out of jail that last time, walking across the parking lot to the vehicle, thinking like, I did this shit.
Right.
I did all this shit.
Right.
Now I have to get myself out of it.
Now what am I
Like
doing?
the only way that I'm going to resolve these issues is by taking action, by myself, by me doing something. What it was, I didn't know. I didn't know what the steps would be, but I had a revelation that I have to do something to take responsibility for this long list of bullshit that I created.
Right.
And there was just nobody else to blame. Now the whole way on to jail, I was mother effing the cop, telling him it was his fault and all this stuff.
Right.
But somehow in those, you know, couple days or whatever, like the mindset shifted, and I don't know why.
Right.
I guess that's the magic question.
Right. And honest, I mean, it's probably a spiritual answer. You know, I don't know yet. I haven't dove that far into it, but I was in the same spot. I was in jail. And I remember they were like, all right, Mike, we're going to set your court date. It's going to be another 60 days. You're going to be in jail. And like, you know, I'm like, okay. And I remember laying down in my, you know, 9x9 cell, and I'm like, that's all right. You know, like, this is okay. And I'm like, I should not be okay with jail. Nobody's doing that. This is not cool, you know, but here I am, like, I'm accepting it and I'm okay with it. And I'm like, this is, something's got to change. Of course, I came out of jail and kept it moving, but that was the last one. That was the last run. God willing, that was the last one.
What else do you have outside of your program? What else do you do in your day-to-day life
Memes, bro.
that makes you happy outside of your meme game?
Yeah.
I expected you to walk in here with like 3 or 4 like burner phones that you like post the shit from.
Right.
I totally did.
Just get my people, spread this out. No. Yeah. No, that's a good question too, because and you and I talked about it previously to this. It's like I got clean and then I found some joy and stuff in life. Now what? You know, like what do I do? And like it's almost like refinding myself. And I think that's why I'm slowly doing that, and you can kind of see the journey. And I'm so open on Facebook or social media, period, that you're gonna be able to watch it, and I'm okay with that. And so it's been like I'm refining myself and clean. Honestly, I don't know. I used every day for at least 10 years, and then before then it was intermittently. So I don't really know who I'm kind of meeting me too.
Yeah.
You know.
For me, it's like I wouldn't even say rediscovering myself. It's like meeting yourself for the first time.
Right, exactly. And then I've got to be okay with who I find, you know? So, you know, I'll blast a few memes off. That's me. And I got to be okay with it too. Oh man, that shit's getting out of hand. That's a lot of fun.
I see you come on every now and then like, all right, dude, I'm going to chill out. I'm going to take a time out. I'm going to burn a time out. And then like 24 hours later,
Right.
you're like,
I got a 24-hour piece in me. That's about it. You know, and the other thing is, man, I like right now it's physicality. I like, you know, hitting the gym. I've gotten into tennis. It just seems weird as fuck, but I dig it, you know? And so I'm open-minded enough to
golf?
I'm not
Not yet?
I don't know. You know, I went to a driving range every ball seems to go a different way than what I intend. But it seems fun. You know, I'm not so sure I got 20 grand to pour into a fucking bag of clubs, but whatever, you know.
One day, baby.
Goals,
One day.
bro. Goals.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like surreal to like learn a new skill or do something different.
I like fucking reading, man. I had to be reminded of that.
Half of our conversation was sharing books with
Right,
each other before we started.
So weird. I want to be this. It's funny because my image and shit is just, it's so different, and I've come to terms with it. It's okay. Like I got a fucking pair of goofy, a custom Timberlands that I put together, and a snapback on. But like I like reading. I like playing tennis. You know, and I'll post a ass eating meme every now and then. You know? And like that's where I'm at. And
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I was sitting in class today and I had my laptop up, and today's the first day of the March Madness
Okay.
college basketball
Okay.
tournament.
I've heard of such.
You've
Yeah.
heard of it. We
Yeah.
live in the state of North Carolina,
Oh.
in case you weren't aware.
Right.
And like I was just reflecting a little bit because I was watching the games. Right, the teachers up there doing a little deal, and I got the game on
Yeah.
right here. Right.
Right.
And I was
Paying
like,
attention.
I was watching it. It was Florida State was on, and I was watching it, and I was just like, man, I was like, it brought back so many memories because like I started to reflect on, you know, in the past for 15 years of my life, like, are always like looking for reasons to party, or like there was always every day was a
Right,
reason
right.
to party. Like it's, you know, my buddy's cousin's sister's birthday, we're throwing down.
It's fucking Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, dude. And so like we were at the college basketball tournament. It was like the first day of the college basketball tournament. I would always like take the day off from work,
Light
block
it
out the whole day and Friday,
Right.
and just get after it. You
Right.
know, have our brackets and the boys,
Right,
and
right,
probably
right.
sports bar somewhere, and just like letting loose.
Yeah.
Here I am, like
Sitting in class.
sitting in class
Lame.
at a college.
Yeah.
Listening to an instructor talk about various medications that are being used, new medications that are being used to treat substance use disorders. And I'm watching the college basketball game, and I'm just like looking around. I was like, dude, it's wild, you know? Learning how to meet those same experiences with like a joy and some appreciation that like, yeah, dude, I get to watch these games today.
Right.
Even though I'm in class, and even though I have all this crazy stuff
But
going
you
on.
get to be in class.
Yeah.
You know? Right. That's dope. And
Yeah.
it's that perspective. A lot of this has been perspective for me too. Like I said, I was that homeless junkie. So when life comes at me, which is coming at me now, you know, I've got my own financial stresses and different things like that. But like, I was homeless, man, you know, and withdrawing. I lived in Lowe's parking lot one time, withdrawing off of methadone, you know, like throwing up out my door. You know, people are walking by me looking at me, and I'm like, keep it moving, man. Don't worry about it. You know, like I have to remember those things, and fucking, what can't I handle?
How can you stress out about finances?
Right. When that's the deal. Or, bro, and then it goes so much deeper. I look at other people's journeys, you know, distinctly remember another young lady in recovery, and she gave birth to a stillborn child and stayed clean through that, bro. Like, that's fucking fascinating. What excuse can I come up with to use? And where could I ever justify that being a solution to anything that's going on? You know, it's things like that perception is, it's huge for me, you know?
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, I can get on my fucking pity party and blah, 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 something's going on, but like, I always keep that perception, and that may be the first question, you know, like that may be that I remember that rock bottom and I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When talking with Philip, we both shared stories about how some of our most challenging times in our life have come in recovery and in early recovery.
Yeah.
And so like that's just like grounds to like work on, knowing that like here I am facing this X, whatever
Right.
it is, the loss of a loved one or extreme betrayal or whatever it is,
Right.
you know, facing this challenge and then looking at it from a perspective of like, what can I learn from this? How can this experience not just make me a better person,
Yeah.
but allow me to give back and be of service to and a leader in the community, right? Like I'm gonna face this. I'm gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel it and I'm gonna face it. And then I'm gonna take it out there and I'm gonna tell everybody about it and be like, look, you can do this too.
Right.
You know?
It's powerful, man. It's powerful, and those experiences, right? Once again, it's that perception. You can either look at what life's doing to me, you know, and be a victim, or you can go, all right, this is where this is at, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to address it. I mean, bro, the only way out of anything is through it, you know? And like I hold on to that, and it's about that perception, man. You build on that.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think is important to know is that like, and to just be constantly aware of is that like, you hit on a little bit earlier that like there's gonna be road bumps.
Yeah.
There's, you know, and like it's okay to not like have it together all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't underestimate the power of a bad example. Okay? That's your boy.
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
I was on spring break last week, dude,
Yeah.
and like
Good for you.
what?
bro. Lighten it up.
No, dude, like. What I realized, this happened the last 2 years, last year and this year during spring break. I took off from work, so I didn't have any work or anything to do, and didn't really make a whole lot of plans, you know. And then like for the whole entire week, I just literally did not want to get out of bed. Just like so, like I began to like look at my life and look at this busy schedule that I place on myself, and I began to ask myself like, do I keep myself busy? And do I have all these things in place because I'm avoiding something? Am I hello? Am I like am I uncomfortable in myself to just be able to like sit around and read that book or listen
Right.
to that podcast? Like I stay so busy with all these different schedules and all these different things happening with school and work and this podcast and everything that's going on, all the busyness
Yeah.
of life and of recovery. But when I have nothing to do, all I want to do is lay in bed, not even watch TV, just like lounge and not do nothing.
Yeah.
So like, what is it? Why? Like, so I'm looking at it from the perspective or the point of view, like, what do I need to work on? What is the opportunity here for me to grow or do better? You know what I mean?
So you're looking at it as like are you filling up your time as like a defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I avoiding something?
Right. Well, but how do you find that out?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Because I love.
And I always snap out of it. Like Monday came,
Right,
school,
right.
time to go back to school, and boom, hit the floor running again.
Yeah.
You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. It's just a little photo shoot. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Don't
I
mind-
kept my shirt on.
Don't
so-
mind us.
Right. Well, the thing is I'm almost hyper aware now, you know, and I want to overanalyze some shit, and maybe I just need to fucking sit down,
Yeah.
you know. And I try to, once again, perspective. Like I'll catch a fucking cold or something, and I'm bitching about it, but maybe that's my higher power telling me, shut the fuck up for a minute, Mike. You know?
Or you need some rest.
Right, or just chill out, you know. And it isn't about filling up that time. Now I struggle with isolation. I fucking love it, you know. And like I'll find my house, I'll find the dark corner in there, Netflix and chill, or I just won't even have anything on, and just sit there. And like I love it, but it can also be toxic, you know, because if I'm doing that for 6 hours, it's not good. It's not therapeutic. But there's a difference between isolation and solitude, you know. And so I'm trying to find that balance, and it almost feels good, man. I'm okay with being with myself, which is a weird feeling, and it's not
foreign.
It's not normal for me, you know. Like I'm a personality, and I like being around people and all these things. And honestly, it's probably the same perspective as you just shared. Like I'm probably distracting myself from the.
Yeah. So what do I need to look at? That's
Right.
the magic question. It's
But
like,
I don't. You definitely won't pinpoint that in me. What? It's like the plethora of things that I could look at.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question, man.
I've been thinking about it all week because school started back up Monday, and I just like instantly snapped out of it. And it wouldn't be as concerning if it did not happen exactly a year ago, the same exact week, requested off from work,
Yeah.
had nothing to do, and literally just like had trouble getting out of bed.
Well,
dude.
you know what happened. What was supposed to happen. You know.
Oh, I needed to sleep, man.
Right. But
Rest it up.
it's always like I struggle with the supposed tos, or I should
Always.
be. Right. You know, I should be doing this and blah blah blah. But like, who am I to determine that? You know, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's such a fucking mind fuck.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
This whole game of life
Right.
is that a
Yeah.
mind fuck.
Right. For sure.
Yeah,
Easy.
all of it is.
Yeah.
What about like I see you in the gym a lot, dude.
Come on.
And I want to know a little bit about like the role that plays, and obviously your physical health, mental health, and then also your recovery. And like, how did you? Is it something that you always like did, like going back to like maybe pre-substance use? Like, were you always in the gym? Because you
No.
talked about well, prior to the show, you talked a little bit about like wrestling and stuff. Was it something you were familiar with, or is it something that you just kind of like?
No. It is a new thing that and this is good. I'm glad we're going to talk about it because I like to make fucking jokes, and I probably will continue. But like, the gym for me is more than just this. I'm the stereotypical fucking
Meathead.
right. You know, the beefcake over here, or whatever. But like, the gym has a therapeutic value that I didn't know was there. You know, and it's for me. It's obviously, you know, if it worked for everyone, everybody be in there. But it's something that I found and I love it. And like, it started with all ego. For sure, easy to say. I wanted to look good naked, so I'm going in there and I'm going hot, you know. And like, staying in there consistently, and I would say this probably happened within 6 months of going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. You know, and of course I'm an addict. Surprise! So I was going, you know, every day, and I wanted to see results, and I wanted this, you know, I wanted all that, and then so I stayed in there consistently for 6 months, a year. And then I started to find out that, like, if I didn't go, I felt a little crazy. And it was almost like going to a meeting. It's actually very similar therapeutic value for me. So if I miss the gym for days, I'll feel it, you know. And, like, if I'm amped up and just want to fight the world, I better get in there or I'm going to catch an assault charge, you know. So it definitely plays much more of a part than I anticipated, you know. It was all selfish fucking physical stuff. Now listen, I'm not above saying that I still go there for those things, but it's more of an added bonus now. Now it's more therapy than anything.
How about eating right?
Yeah. I mean, that comes later. And listen, that's the hard part. You know, I had no idea, but coming in there and picking up heavy shit and putting it back down, that's the easy part. And I thought that would be the hard part. But everything I do outside, you know, changing my diet up and all that stuff, like, I didn't know I'd become that involved. Should have probably took the junkie mindset into account, you know, that I go hard on everything. So, yeah, the diet has been a thing, and it's been a continuous journey from wanting to put on weight to cutting weight to always messing with it. There's obviously not a finish line. I think I'll be doing this for life. Yeah. Hopefully, you know, I like it. But it's a struggle to get. There's not really a balance there. Yeah. You know, there's always going to be a different goal. I want to be bigger. I want to be leaner. You know, whatever.
Some definition.
It's all aesthetic too. It's just, this is all for show. It's not functional at all. There'll be no time I can think of, you know, let's not put that out there. God willing, he'll throw it at me. But like, when do I need to put 200 pounds off my chest? There's no, I can't think of a time. So.
How about establishing the discipline of going? Was it just something that you?
Well,
that's what so many people struggle with.
Right, and it doesn't make sense. I'm not the most disciplined, but like, I found that when I commit to something, I can do it, and that's what the rooms have taught me. You know, my 12-step fellowship has taught me, like, I committed to doing 90 meetings in 90 days. When I come out of detox this time, like, that's what they told me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually give this shit a shot. So I listened to that and I did that. I actually committed to that, and then. Honestly, man, like the value of going to meetings and learning what meetings were and meeting people and all that, that's dope, and it was awesome. The other hidden benefit there was I found out that I could commit to something and I could actually do it.
Follow through.
Bro, I hadn't committed to anything. I was married. Lost that, you know? Like, I couldn't commit to shit. So it was cool to find that value back in me to it would build my self-worth a little more, you know, and not be the piece of shit that I thought I was, you know? And that's bled off into other things.
Take like that same mindset to the job, to the gym, to your diet, to whatever it is that that you're placing a focus on. And like the addicts that we are, we just run with it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man. I go to the gym about 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Strictly cardio.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the other thing, man. It's sort of like recovery. There's all different goals in there.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, some guys are going for cardio and CrossFit, or they want to do it's the cardio. You want to fucking be able to run. My great, no, he's not. I recently swapped sponsorship families, but my ex grand sponsor, he's a runner, man, and he's doing Ironmans and all this shit. And it's
Yeah.
admirable,
Uh-huh.
but that's not my goal. But it's
Yeah.
cool to see it, you know?
Yeah, that's all I do, man. I don't mess with any of the weights or anything like that.
And what's the deal? Why do you go? Come on.
Well, I smoked for a long time,
Yeah.
like 20 years.
Smoked what?
Cigarettes, bud, all you name it, crack.
Right. It's funny because you'll hear the addicts.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody's like, "Do you smoke?" And we're most of the time like, "What you mean?"
Yeah.
You know? Normal people are like,
Yeah.
"I do not smoke cigarettes. That's gross." I'm like, "Meth? I smoke meth a couple times. No big deal." Yeah.
So just like heart health and
Yeah.
clear my lungs a little
Uh-huh.
bit, stuff like that.
That's why you started.
That's why I started.
Okay.
But what I quickly learned was the benefits to my brain, dude. Cognitive performance, dude. Like
Yeah.
stress and like
Yeah.
anxiety and the things that like, you know, whether it's like a disagreement with a friend or something with my boss or just something that's like on my mind or bothering me, instead of like making a like rash decision or
Yeah.
firing off some crazy email, like
Right.
go in there and run it out for a half an hour,
Mhm.
45 minutes.
And then
Then
You can
make a
unleash,
decision.
right.
And the decision that I make is usually
much better
causes a lot less harm.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it's just amazing to see like what that does.
Did you know that before you started it?
But that was
Like that there was a therapeutic value there.
I had an idea. Yeah, the guy that my buddy Caleb that does the podcast with me, he's
Mm-hmm.
like he's that ultra marathon runner dude that you just described.
That commitment level's off
yeah.
the chain.
And he's crazy because he did it like he started with it like right out of jail.
Yeah.
He started running
Straight out of
marathons. No, for real.
Yeah.
Like he started running marathons.
dope.
And he's the dude that ran to Oklahoma along the Trail of Tears from Cherokee
Mm-hmm.
over here, like 700 and something miles, almost 800 miles. Like, so,
Boom. You know, like, what the fuck
Yeah.
are we doing? That's
Yeah.
dope, man. He's some kind of fucking X-Man or something.
animal. Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. He is, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking to run like a half a marathon in like early April, a couple weeks from now, right? Which is like 13 miles.
Right.
And to him, that's like a warm up. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
better be ready.
Right.
Better be ready, bro.
Right. Well, it's like me lifting with some guy and he's putting 5 plates on a bar, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But like, I see him, you know, and his level of commitment and all that work that took to get there.
It was like to like on a normal like the days it almost like an energy level too.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, like on the days that I don't go, I feel like
Oh,
just dragging and tired.
And it's almost the action of it. You know, it's like I went to the gym today and I can build on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's uplifting.
Create some momentum.
Right. It's not. I can always see the difference if I haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I might go in there and lift like shit and fuck around on my phone and post 38 memes and leave. You know, it's possible.
It's probably
That's the
more than
running joke.
possible.
They're like, I saw Mike at the gym on his phone. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, but like, I can totally do that. But still leaving there, I feel better.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something positive for myself.
I went to work this morning, right? We had 2 people quit. I worked this little part-time job. Outside of being a podcast superstar, I worked this
Right.
little part-time
Yeah.
job. And
No big deal.
no big deal,
It's a
dude.
local
Just
celebrity. It's
Local,
fine.
yeah. Sign autographs at the register and stuff.
Right.
Just kidding, guys.
Yeah. Come by.
But so we had a couple people quit on us, right? And so I go this week, just like no notice, like, hey, I'm not coming back. So we're like really short staffed. I told my boss, hey, I come in for a couple hours. So before class, I wasn't scheduled. I went to work for like 3 hours, 9 to noon, class from 12:30 to 3:20, and then I had about 2 hours to kill before I had to be over here. And I was just like, I hadn't been in the gym all week because I've been working over there and doing some podcasts and stuff. So I hadn't been in the gym all week. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go knock out, at least a half an hour on the treadmill
Yeah.
before I come over here. Expecting to feel like shit,
Yeah.
expecting to just be dragging.
Because you hadn't been in there in a minute?
And because I had a long ass day.
Yeah.
With working in the morning. I had to work late last night. So I had to work late last night and turn around and be at work. I had a long day. I expected to just be like tired by the time I showed up over here, man. I got out of that gym, dude, and I was jacked, like ready to go, bro.
Yeah. Right. And that's what you were talking about earlier. That level of dedication is to acknowledge that. You know, like when I leave my office after 12 hours, I'm zapped. And going home and laying down sounds appealing. But the level of dedication is like hitting a meeting after that, and then like I'm rejuvenated. you know,
Yeah.
and like you recognize that even after a hard ass day, go run for a minute and you're back on top of the world.
Back on it. Do you
It takes a lot to get there,
it does.
you know.
Do you listen to music
Ah,
while you're there? While you're there at the gym?
Oh yeah, music is another avenue that I rediscovered. Like you were saying, what do you do outside of, you know, have fun? Like I fucking love music, and it's very eclectic. I'll listen to some fucking hood ass garbage, you know, that does. I don't need it to be lyrically gifted. I don't need to hear a message. I want to hear some trap rap and just thug it out for a minute, you know. But yeah, man, music's a big part of. It's
Yeah.
an outlet, man. It's an escape, and I'll listen to fucking Wheezy to Jack Johnson, you know, like it's, and I'm all right with that, you know. Some guys will come into my office and they're like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, sit down, man, it's fine, just chill, you know. Or it's fucking Lil Jon. What? You know, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I don't listen to any music when I'm in the gym.
Really?
That's when I get to get my audiobooks in.
Okay.
So I'll run on that treadmill, dude, and I'll knock out like if I'm in the gym every day, it'll take me about a week to knock out like a decent
book.
length book.
Yeah. I listen to I listen to podcasts. I haven't done the audiobooks thing.
Yeah.
I need to look into it, especially what you were talking about.
It's if you enjoy listening to podcasts, it's, you know, very similar. The only thing that I don't like about it is like if it's something that like catches my eye and I want to like go back to it or highlight it or take some notes or something like that, it's a little more cumbersome to do that. What I typically do is
You listen to them on your phone?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a program.
Yeah, what I usually do is if it's like a book that I know I'm going to enjoy, I'll buy it on Audible and on Kindle, the electronic version,
right.
ebook, and then they sync up with each other. So as I'm listening
Oh,
to
really?
it, if I pull up the Kindle, then it'll go right to the page that I would just listen at, and I can take the notes or whatever.
Right.
If it's just some random thing, then I won't have it. But I don't listen to books in the gym, and like so many people come on here and
You
like,
don't listen.
I mean, I don't listen to music in
Oh,
the gym,
okay,
only
okay.
books.
Yeah.
And I kind of have mixed feelings about music, to be honest with
Okay,
you,
let's get into
because
it.
I was such like a bar rat,
Yeah.
and we'd always go to like shows and stuff like that. It's like one of those things that I haven't really like got my feet wet in recovery.
Okay.
There's like because memories,
Bar rat.
yeah, dude, for
Yeah,
real.
I can relate.
Like memories like songs are attached to memories, and so like things will call, you know what I mean? And so like it's hard for me to like to reconnect. I guess I haven't created new memories surrounding music and recovery.
Right. And it's almost you've got a healthy fear about it. I can relate with it. You know, it's like I don't want to tempt this beast, man. This is the hardest thing ever that I've had to overcome. And it's a day by day process. There's not, you know, like got it. He's in the bag. Let's keep it moving. You know, it's like every day I got to stay vigilant. You know, and so I can relate with that. But I also, man, I'm such a stubborn ass junkie. You know, like I want to fight it. And so I had such a hard time surrendering, man. I'm like, I'm not a pussy, you know, but there's so much power in surrendering. I just didn't understand it. But so I want to fight that. And I'm like, where's the freedom in avoiding some music that I like?
Avoiding anything.
Or anything. Exactly. Like I better not go to Ingles or Walmart because there's alcohol in there and I might get fucked up. Where's the freedom in that?
Yeah.
You know, and I had to come to terms with that. But like I push back so hard on that shit.
I think it's more that I have learned to enjoy other things, like audiobooks and podcasts and reading.
But
period.
is it that you identify with that instead, or are you like
It's-
that's your recovery version of you and not the junkie
No,
version?
it's that it's that I did so much damage to my brain, and I didn't take care of it, and I didn't like have any interest in like learning new things. I knew one thing, and I was getting high and fucked up. And so now, like, I'm on a mission to learn as much as I can
That's dope.
on like random.
So you don't find
things.
any more value in it?
I mean, I guess like if I'm riding in the car, I'm listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
Like period. If I'm at the gym, audiobook. You know what I mean? Like I guess if we're at a party, if we're throwing a party at your pad,
Come on.
we crank up some tunes. That's cool, right?
Right.
If I'm at my house and I'm like maybe cleaning house and vacuuming and doing all the shit, maybe I'll kick on some music. But it's not like an everyday part of my life.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like I want to learn and I want to like learn just
So that's right. It taps into your interest. I don't know. because I like that shit too. I usually listen to podcasts as I lay down at night.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with anxiety and fucking future tripping, and I'll lay down and close my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I should have done this today, and I should do this in 10 years, you know, and then I'm round and round you go, and I won't go to sleep. So I listen to podcasts, and it sort of gets my mind onto something, and then I'll think about it, and that's where I go. But yeah, most of the time, man, like if you come into my office,
Jamming.
I'm rocking it out at
Yeah.
all times. They come in at 7 a.m. and it's your boy DMX, you know.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's how it is. Yeah.
And see, my brain goes to like '96, the USF Sundome, the DMX concert, getting fucked up. Like that's where my brain goes.
That's where
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
You better stick with podcasts. Right. Learn some shit. It's probably mindless bullshit, you know. What? Come on, you know. All right, this is my guy. Yeah.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. Oh, bro. I posted that a couple times, man. That's a great video.
Shit, I was gonna ask you something. Damn.
Hey, DMX will do it
Yeah,
to you.
dude, you threw me off with DMX.
I've been
got me.
doing that for days, just hollering about it. What? It's your boy, you know. And like,
Oh my God. What was I gonna ask you? I don't know. Oh, the music. The reason why I asked you that is because we were talking before the show. You were talking about the guy David Goggins, who was on Joe Rogan's podcast a while back, and I was telling you I read his book and stuff like that. And he's like one of the baddest motherfuckers on this planet.
oh, by far.
And he
How old is that dude?
mid 40s.
And
He's under
just-
50 for sure.
And what I mean, like he's doing all the running and like his body's breaking down. It doesn't matter. He doesn't listen to that. He keeps it moving.
Keeps going. 100-mile races and 20
Across
less
deserts.
than 24 hours, like shitting himself.
Oh, who was the
Wasn't-
guy that we'll get on a tangent talking about somebody else's podcast. The guy that ran across Antarctica. Did you listen to
I
that?
heard that one too.
God, he was
Yeah.
dope too, man.
Yeah.
That kind of perseverance it's infatuating. It's admirable.
The dude was like pushing a 300-pound cart.
Yeah,
It
'cause
had
that's all he had to
his
live on.
gear, material, tent, all that stuff.
Had never been done.
No,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I don't remember his name. I never heard of the dude until he was
Yeah.
on there. But that David Goggins
Until
guy.
he ran across
Until he
the
ran across the
continent.
continent. Yeah. That David Goggins guy. He's like, they asked him to come and speak to a college football team. I don't remember who it was, Tennessee or somebody. And they were asking him, the players were asking him something about if he listens to music while he's working out, because he has a strict routine. You know, he
Yeah.
goes to the gym, he
All that
runs a
dudes.
certain amount, and then he stretches every night for 2 hours. He does a 2-hour stretch before bed.
This is the guy, just so everybody knows, he did like 4,000 pull-ups
Pull-ups.
in like 24 hours.
Consecutive.
Consecutively. I don't even understand. That's like fucking trying to understand the infinite amount of galaxies or something. What?
Can you count that high, bro?
Right. I'm going to struggle with that.
Yeah.
We'll have to take my shoes off. You know?
But it took him 3 times to do it. He broke the Guinness Book of World Records, but it took him 3 times to do it. He tried 3 times, and the 3rd time he did it.
Yeah.
But his deal is like, he's like, you know, I don't listen to music.
Really?
And it's that mental training and that mental fortitude to like continue to push and continue to go on. He was talking to the college football players, and he was like, what the fuck are you going to do when you're on the field and that linebacker trucks you and he knocks your fucking head off? You don't have no headphones in there in your ear to motivate you to keep going.
Right.
When you're at the gym, you got those headphones in, you're
Yeah.
jamming that DMX,
Right.
and you're just pumping that iron,
Right. Yeah.
posting a meme, pump some iron, posting. You're just
Do
in
a
your
rep.
zone, dude.
Right.
You're in
Right,
the
right.
in the flow,
Yeah.
right?
DMX fueled flow.
DMX fueled meme butthole meme flow.
Yeah.
You know. But what are you gonna do, like when, you know, you're walking to your car and some dude tries to jack you, or you just get smacked in the face, you get sucker punched from behind. Like you don't have that thing to keep you going, so you got to like train yourself to do that shit.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. So
That totally makes sense. Yeah, I mean, DMX isn't going to be there fucking, you know, if I'm getting jacked. So maybe it will.
maybe
but-
all that hard work will pay off.
Yeah, I would hope so. At least you think twice about it, I hope.
I was that dude, man. Like, you could say blessed, but like, I got that metabolism that just runs on jet fuel. So like, no, I played basketball in high school. I could have played college basketball at some podunk schools if I stayed on it. But like, no matter what, eating right, all the supplements, gym in the morning, basketball practice, gym in the afternoon, just like
Really?
hitting it hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't put on a pound. I weigh the same weight that I did when I was 15 years old.
Yeah. No, it's always been I'm the same guy. I can relate with that. Like it's hard for me to put on weight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I can burn it all. I have to maintain that weight. Or
How do you
it'll
do
go
it?
Away. It's diet and commitment. I've got to stay in the gym. I've got to keep training my body to pick up the 200 fucking pounds that I'll never be able to do it or never need to. But like, that's where I need, and it's all for the aesthetics of it and everything. But like, if I don't, my metabolism's off the chain and I'll just burn it off. Now,
Yeah.
listen, when I was on the methadone for fucking 2 years, I was a 260 pound slob of a man. So, you know, it can go either way. But that, you know, that was that substance put it there. And then, you know, when I decided to go with methamphetamines, I was 140 pounds. So that's 6'2". You know, it definitely takes some. It's funny because I talk about this, and some people hate it. I don't know if you've caught in any kind of fucking salt from it, but like if I talk about how hard it is to gain weight, you'll hear a gaggle of women going, "That's bullshit. Shut your mouth. That doesn't matter." You know, I'm like, but it's still my problem.
I've had that since I was 15 years old.
Right.
That
It's
echo
hard.
of
It's hard to put weight on. They're like, "Oh, I wish I had your problems." I say that again. It's a problem. Dodge ram it. You know.
it's been like that my entire life, dude.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this whole like cannabis, CBD?
Yeah, we're gonna get into.
Can I
some-
just
Yeah, let's throw
just
some
throw
shit in
some
the mix.
shit and see
I
what
like to be
happens?
controversial
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it's all. I'm gonna come from my place for me, because I've seen it do different things, and I don't want to. I'm not speaking about the kid that cannabis is fixing his seizures. By all means, take your medicine. You know, like, and who am I to fucking judge? I'm definitely not a doctor. I think we've established this thus far. You know,
If you listen to us for the past hour and you think
right.
that he is,
yeah, yeah. If you're there, well then I'll show you how to get clean. So anyway, you know, I've had a sponsee, man. So this is the consequence that I relate with, and this is the kind of junkie that I am. So I never want to tempt fate with my disease. I've seen the wreckage firsthand. It's a nightmare, and that could start out with something as simple as, bro, listen, I've taken. I was prescribed an antidepressant, suffered with depression, and honestly, I think it's a consequence of my actions. But like, so I took one antidepressant, and then my junkie mindset was like, okay, if this makes me feel less depressed, let's take the 23 left and take them all, and let's see what we got. So then I lose muscle control, and my eyes won't stop twitching, and things like that. So that's where I'm at. I can't trust myself with those different kind of things. So I don't want to trigger my beast in me. So the CBD that the people are using or whatever, like I had a sponsee that did this. He talked to me about it beforehand, which was cool. You know, he's like, hey man, I'm thinking about CBD, and it was for anxiety or sleep or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well let's look at it. You know, like first off, have you exhausted everything else before we go straight to a substance and fix it? You know, like have you exhausted everything? And like he's sort of on the fence about it, and he's like, okay. So it comes to, listen, this is your journey. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's not going to be something that I'm going to do unless it's, you know, I don't know, but it's going to take a lot to get me there. So if you want to do that, cool, and then I'll be here for you, and let's just talk about it. Well, first things first, if you take CBD oil, you're going to fail a drug test for THC. I'm a drug testing coordinator at my sober living facility, and I've tried this multiple different ways. If you have a bottle that says THC free, well, the FDA doesn't monitor that. They can say what the fuck they want. It doesn't. So either way, you're going to pop on.
So what you're saying is you've seen individuals test positive for cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
That
every time.
every time.
Every time.
Okay.
And no matter what their bottle says.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe there's a variation out there that I haven't seen, but thus far,
Yeah.
every time you'll pop positive on a dip test for THC. Now I can send it to a lab, and then they'll tell me the levels, but it's still in there. It's a different strain of THC, but it's still going to pop. So anyway, this guy did this, and then he struggled with it. He came in and tested, you know, and he's like, oh, that blows my mind, you know, and those kind of things. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's all right, you know, we'll just keep looking at it, like, and keep. You've got to be brutally honest with where you're at with it and why you're using it. Only you're gonna know your intentions. You know, nobody else is gonna. If I take 10 Advil trying to get high, then I know my intentions behind it. It's gonna fuck with me. And it's not going to get me high. So anyway, he did that. Well, at the end of his road, he ended up using heroin and almost dying. You know, and he relates with that. Like it started there and then slowly trailed off. So I'm not willing to do that today. I don't have anything that would make me willing to do that. that's not for me to fucking decide if you are,
Yeah.
you know, but I'll be here
Yeah.
and I'll share my experience with it and hopefully.
There's just so much hype about it, dude.
I know.
Like
It's
everywhere
off
you
the chain.
turn.
And bro, like I said, I don't claim to know everything. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Never been accused of being a genius, you know?
Yeah.
So like, are there circumstances and sure. And if you don't struggle with addiction, by all means, you know, but like, it's not where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be different than anybody, but I'm an extreme fucking junkie. I know that for myself. So I got to be vigilant in all aspects.
Yeah.
But it is like, it's all the hype, and I'm sure there's medicinal value there.
Yeah. I think that unless you're targeting like a specific ailment, I don't like, for me, a person in recovery.
Well, at what cost? So it's like, sure, it could probably help me with my anxiety, or maybe it could help me with my sleep, or I'm sure there's some kind of benefit there. But then what? You know, is if it's helping me with my anxiety and then I end up fucking smoking crack, then the consequences are
Yeah.
far outweigh.
Yeah.
You know?
My experience with it was that I tried it a while back and it was too close to cannabis.
Okay.
Right. So I
Right.
tasted it.
Yeah.
It tasted like bud.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was like exactly as they described it, like a body relaxing
Right.
type effect. However, because my addict brain tasted the cannabis,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about just a little drop on your
Right,
tongue,
right.
you know, because my addict brain
I
tasted
kind of miss that taste too. I don't want to fucking remember that.
beautiful.
Right. It smells fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my brain instantly went to like, something's missing. So I got the body's relaxing,
Right.
got the taste in my mouth,
Yeah.
but I didn't get high,
Right.
you know?
I'm missing the high.
And like I'm waiting, you know what I mean? And then
Right,
I
right,
found like, maybe I should take some more. Maybe I should, and then it's just like the ball started rolling. So I immediately hit the brakes on. I was like, I don't need this.
Right.
Like, I don't have any ailments for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a solid place with my recovery, mentally, physically, spiritually, all, you know,
Right.
across the board. I'm good. Like I don't have
Why
anything.
would I throw this? in?
However, somebody that I'm very close with, tried it around the exact same time, and it's done a lot for her.
And I know somebody like that too, which is why we get to allow the freedom of each person.
Yeah, figuring it out. But sometimes you learn the hard way, and then you end up like that.
God,
Yeah.
right.
It's
So,
like it's definitely not like my experience tells me that it's definitely not like the miracle drug that
right.
that everybody says that it is.
well, what
or
was
that
it
you-
before? It was gabapentin before.
And
you
now
know?
they're abusing that.
Exhibit A. Bro, let me tell you the kind of addict that I have been. So, go to detox. I went to this one detox 13 different times, just this one, you know. And so I go, and then I find out the gabapentin kind of gives me a body buzz. So here I am, I'm still during this part of my journey. This is towards the end, probably 28 to 30, somewhere in there. I didn't get clean this time till 32. So 28 to 30, somewhere in there. I find out the gabapentin's going to give me a body buzz. So then I work the doctors over. I'm trying to find a way to be clean and be high. I just didn't believe you that wasn't a thing. So I was going to find it. Okay. And so
I got the answer once you're done with your story.
okay, perfect. Can't wait. So,
Does not involve a substance.
damn it. Yeah. Well, that's debatable. So anyway, I decided that I was going to work the doctors over, and I'm going to get the maximum amount that you're allowed to prescribe, and then I'm going to bump that up. He gave me like 100 more milligrams of that a day. So I think I was at like 3,700 milligrams a day. Yeah, just getting it on up there. And then I'm wobbly, so I'm like, all right, this is cool. So then when I leave that detox, they discharge me with a 30-day supply of it. So now I've got this ginormous bottle of it, and I'm pretty sure I'm homeless at this time. I'm running the streets anyway. So my aunt was on her way to come and get me or something, and I decided to take, and I don't think this is an underestimate or an overestimation, is like about 20,000 milligrams of this shit. You know, I'm just handfuls after handfuls, bro. I'm gagging trying to get it all down. And I end up taking all this. Well, by the time I get to my aunt's house, which is in Canton, not far from here, but she picked me up from Asheville. By the time I get there, I end up falling out and passing out on the couch. And like, she just thought I was sleepy or whatever. And then I ended up shitting myself. So not a glamorous, glorious story, but that's where I'm at. And I found a way to fucking eat enough gabapentin to do some shit like that to me. So, yeah, you can definitely get high, and I've done it.
Have you ever tried
Oh, here we go.
meditation?
Hold up. Can you spell that? This is funny that I try to be mindful of things that I keep hearing, and this is one of them. Is sit down for 3 minutes, Mike, and just stop. And I did some meditation when I worked the 11th step the last time through the steps. So I did some. It's not comfortable for me, and I don't practice it on the daily. My closest thing to meditation is like getting in the gym. Putting some headphones in and tuning out for a minute, sweating.
The shit saved my life, bro.
Okay,
It did.
it's a renounding, or there's a common theme there that everybody tells me about meditation.
It did, dude. And like
So what
those
does that look like?
those that haven't tried it or may be resistant
Yeah,
in a similar way that you have. My girlfriend's one of them.
yeah.
Just like it doesn't work for me. I can't do it. I can't sit still. I can't stop my brain. I can't do this. Can't do that.
Can't.
Can't.
Get
That
the
word.
fuck out of here with that word.
But
Not willing.
and that's like a misunderstanding of what the process is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about sitting with what's present.
Yeah.
Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you upset? Are you stressed? Are you happy? Joyful?
And that's,
Grateful? What's going on with you today?
as you say those things, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to sit down and look.
To know what's happening,
Right.
to be aware of it.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I hadn't seen in a while, and he showed up to a meeting a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Listen, man, like shit's been going down. I've been smoking weed. My girlfriend's fucking pissed. She knows I'm an addict. She's fucking pissed. She's gonna kick me out if I don't start coming back to meetings and da da da." We talked one-on-one for an extended period of time and had a conversation about CBD and like what those effects were. And it was a refuge recovery meeting, so a part of the meeting is a 20-minute group guided meditation.
That's like at the beginning, right?
The beginning. Have you been?
No, but I've heard
Dude,
plenty.
I would highly suggest
I know.
it.
I need
No,
to check
dude.
it out, bro. 'Cause
You do.
I'm on deck.
Yeah.
I'll check it all out.
Yeah,
You gotta
definitely.
take your shoes off and all that.
You can.
So
Yeah.
pop the J's off.
Yeah.
Put them next
Put them
to
up.
the door.
Put them up by the door.
Maybe
Yeah.
on a shelf.
They have a little
Okay.
little shoe shelf deal
Yeah.
over at Urban Dharma
Do I need
downtown.
to wear sleeves?
You don't have to wear
Okay.
sleeves, dude.
That's perfect. That's
You
what
never
I
seen a
want.
monk not without sleeves?
You know.
But I was talking to him about. He was asking. We were talking about CBD and like the effects of that, and we started the meeting and just meditated for like 20 minutes. At the end of the meditation, I was like, "That's what CBD feels like." He
Really?
opened his eyes. I'm like, "That's what CBD feels like." Your
Yeah.
body is just relaxed, dude.
Uh-huh.
You're literally. And this particular meditation was kind of like a body scan, where you really place your awareness, the awareness of your mind, in any sensations of the body, any tightness, any tension, and you just try to like loosen it up, loosen up your body.
With your thoughts.
The thoughts come and go, man.
I mean,
You
right.
don't pay attention to them.
I've heard certain things. So I've been trying to look into this, and it's like you got to be okay with your thoughts, and they come, and then you just let it go, and like don't try to control shit, right?
Don't try to control shit.
Yeah.
Allow them to come and
Wow,
go.
that's a struggle.
Like they say, like the metaphor, like the clouds passing through the sky.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thought. Another thought bubble. And a
Instead
thought
of
bubble.
that's that thought. I shouldn't be thinking that. Let's change.
And you don't necessarily identify with the thoughts like, "Oh fuck, I'm a piece of shit," like whatever. You don't identify. You just allow them to kind of, because like the concept or idea is that like, you don't necessarily cultivate your own thoughts. Like these thoughts will come out of nowhere.
Right.
They're not you,
No, I
right? You
don't.
didn't generate them on
Right.
your own or
And
intentionally.
you want to control that. Right.
You think that you do.
Right.
I mean, I started meditating in solitary confinement in a butt naked in a suicide blanket in the basement of the Ocala, Florida jail.
Well, I hope I don't have to get there.
Detoxing off of MDMA and crack. So
yeah.
like,
Solid detox.
for the people that tell me that like, "Oh, my mind won't do it," or this and that, it's like, I know, dude.
You put yourself. That's the David Goggins of
That's
meditation.
the David Goggins. Well, I knew that it would work.
Yeah.
I knew that it would work because I
Had
had
you tried it before?
on court order treatment 10 years before.
Okay.
So court ordered treatment 10 years before to get my license back, DUI, school, court, whatever.
Right.
This guy's teaching meditation. He's teaching simple stuff like counting your breath and body scans and like candle gazing, where you just kind of like stare into the candle. Real simple stuff. And so I would go there once a week for like 14 weeks for an hour, and we'd do this in a group setting. And I didn't know it at the time because my intention wasn't to change my lifestyle.
Right.
So I was going to fulfill my obligation to the courts, not to get better. So, but while I was there,
It doesn't matter how we hear the message.
while I was there, I experienced relief.
That's dope.
Right? I experienced like space between the chaos that goes on in my mind
Right.
and the reality. There was creating some space, and I experienced a ton of relief. So fast forward 10 more years, when shit hit the fan, and I'm down there again, and I'm down there with this suicide blanket on in the basement of this jail.
I've had the turtle suit on
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, the shit worked a long time ago. I'm
And
stuck
you're
down
in
here.
a solid state of desperation.
Solid state of desperation.
Yeah.
So my mind just goes back to what gave me the last bit of relief.
Right.
And it was that. And so I just started doing it. And then when I got out of jail, and
So you were in solitary confinement
just for like that night, suicide watch or whatever.
just for that night.
Yeah.
But that was the night that you discovered that there could be some relief.
Yeah.
And then you continued from
I
there.
started the meditation in that jail cell.
Okay.
And then when I got out, I started researching meditation based recovery. And the first thing that came up was refuge recovery.
That's dope.
And that's how I got connected with refuge recovery. And then I started doing it. And the more you do it,
Right,
it's a skill. It's like lifting weights.
Right,
it's
right,
like creating that momentum.
I see what you're doing
It's like
here.
playing tennis.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more space that you will create, the more you'll be able to concentrate, the less you will be distracted by the thoughts or the noise or whatever.
So what's the point?
I think you're changing the way that you relate to your mind, and you're kind of learning essentially a lot of this recovery stuff that we just talked about today. Like, you're learning how your disease works.
Right.
You're learning
Yeah.
how your mind works. So when you start to feel like, this person did something to me, and you start like getting a resentment
Yeah.
towards them or something like that, you can be like, catch it and know that, oh no, that's just my mind doing what it is. And it allows you to like let that shit go.
So do you see an added benefit like throughout your day?
Dude, huge, enormous.
Okay.
Dude, enormous. And I've been doing it for 4
You
and a half.
struggle with so here's the deal. I'm got a bit of a temper, you know, and
I was that guy until recovery.
that's what I've been suggested to deal with that.
Yeah. It creates that space between like identifying with the thoughts. So it allows you to stop yourself before you would,
Act on it. Right. Okay.
allows you to kind of like pause.
Yeah. There's a therapeutic value of a pause.
Enormous.
Oh, huge.
Enormous.
Yeah.
It allows you to pause, to recognize that something's happening, pause, and then
Oh, that pause is
Yeah.
crucial.
But-
I was quitting smoking. This will be a fun story. This is all alleged. I quit smoking. Right at 2 years clean, and I just wanted to do something. I'm in the gym. I'm changing my diet. I'm doing all these things, and yet I'm still smoking cigarettes, and it didn't make sense. And what am I getting from it? It was all just I'm habitual.
patterns.
Yeah, right. And so I quit and I just stopped. I ended up getting sick. I had like a cold or something, and I didn't want to smoke during that time. So it was about 2 days clean off of nicotine, and smoking. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump from here. Yeah, here we go. So I jumped, and it was okay, man. Like, the physical withdrawal or nothing. Like, I've quit dope. Like, come on. I can get through this. And the thing was my temper. It was through the roof. It elevated. And I remember this guy. So this is 2 years clean, mind you. I've got some spiritual principles under my belt, and some life changes. And this guy cuts me off in traffic, man. And I'm losing my fucking mind, like gripping my steering wheel. He cuts me off once, then I get around him, cut him back off because I'm a spiritual warrior, And then he comes back and he cuts me back off. And then we get jammed up in a traffic jam. So that's it. I'm out of the car.
Fuck.
I'm coming up to his door and I pull on his door handle, man. Like, who the fuck am I? First off, they'll
You're
take
lucky
me
you didn't get shot, bro.
Right. First off, it's so many variables run through my mind later because I didn't take the pause that we just talked about. So I'm opening his door. Me and him are going to have a conversation. It's probably going to involve assault charge. So then they'll take me to jail clean. You know, they don't. I could stand in front of the judge and go, "But judge, I have a sponsor and I've been clean over."
I
2
got
years.
2 years, man.
Right. So what do you mean? You know, they'll take me to jail. And then the other thing is, like you just mentioned, I'm in the Bible Belt. He could be just a God-fearing American carrying a 357, and Lord knows, I can't win a fight against that guy. Or that gun is gonna stop me. So there was all these kind of consequences that run through my head, and I'm like, oh wow. So I quit smoking, and I lost the therapeutic value of a pause there for a minute. But once again, things like that. And you know what? I'm allowed to make mistakes. Thank God it didn't turn out bad. There's 60 people around us in a traffic jam. I'm like, I'm getting ready to be on the internet for sure. And then they're going to be like, that's that Michelangelo guy. That motherfucker posts some memes. I know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there's that, you know.
How difficult was it to quit smoking the rest of the process? Did you notice the anger? How long before the anger subsided?
Yeah, that was the most severe withdrawal symptom, if you will. It lasted about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's that perseverance and that
No
commitment.
vaping or nothing?
No.
Just
Come on, man. I've done methadone, you know? So it was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to vape. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go.
I have a horror story for quitting smoking.
Mm.
I stopped smoking like
It's a struggle, man. You know, I've seen addicts struggle with quitting smoking more than fucking anything, you know?
Yeah, it is, dude. It's
I wonder what
tough.
the deal is.
They say the nicotine is more,
I mean, nicotine's
but some people just
addictive.
kick it like you.
Right.
Some people, and like I know many people that just
And
kick it.
I am, you know, from the stories we've developed so far, I'm a nightmare junkie. So I'm by no means am I like above it. You know, like I just kicked it. I'm cured. No,
Yeah.
it's just.
I put down the smokes to vape,
Uh-huh.
2016. So after like 2.5 years of doing that, I'm like, why am I still doing this? You know, this is just like a month ago.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
why am I still vaping?
Right.
Like, why?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna quit vaping. Totally quit vaping.
Yeah.
I don't need that stuff no more. So I started using the old nicotine lozenges.
Okay.
Piece
Yeah.
of cake, dude.
Those are fucking nasty.
These aren't too bad. These little Walmart deals, they're
Okay.
not too bad. Lower dose, but
Yeah.
started using those. Piece of cake, dude. No issues, right?
Okay.
I like 2 weeks of nicotine lozenges, dropping down in doses. I got down to no nicotine. I went like 2 or 3 weeks without any nicotine at all. I was just using mouth cough drop, not cough drop, like a what am I looking for?
You got me.
Little sucker deal, you know, sugar-free breath mint.
Okay.
It's like sugar-free breath mints, and
With no nicotine.
no nicotine.
Okay.
Just breath mints
Right.
throughout the day.
Just
If
some
I
candy.
need something, little candy deal, sugar-free,
Okay.
easy on the teeth.
Yeah.
And I did that for almost a month, right? I had no nicotine in my body.
Huh.
My teacher gives us an assignment in class, 10-day challenge to give up a substance, give up a behavior or substance in your life. To give something up for 10 days.
Yeah.
She's like, if we're training you guys to be substance abuse counselors, I want you to, because there's a lot of people that aren't in recovery, you know, in the classroom.
Right. It's fine.
To each their own.
Yeah.
She's like, I want you guys to know what it's like to ask somebody.
Did you not raise your hand, ma'am?
I just went through this.
Yeah. Quit crack a little while back. Does that count?
Yeah, can I just write a paper about that?
Yeah. Right.
So I chose coffee,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
I chose coffee.
How long ago was this?
This was 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is recent,
You're not
dude.
on the challenge, and I'm witnessing a relapse.
No,
right
no,
now,
it's
right?
over.
Okay.
It's over.
Okay.
But here we go.
All right.
I did like the first 4 days of coffee were a piece of cake. I didn't say caffeine, I said coffee. So I'd wake up, I'd have a cup of tea in the
So
morning.
you're still getting caffeine.
Later in the still getting caffeine. Later in the day, I'd have a Pepsi or just something light to get a little caffeine, Monster, sugar-free Monster, or something.
Yeah.
It was going great. 5 days in, I'm like, dude, I got this piece of cake. Like I was
Cured.
already planning like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna have one cup of when it's over, I'm just gonna because I'm not gonna all day carry this thing around. Like it's 8:10 right now, and I got a full
Right,
cup
right.
right
Yeah,
here. You
yeah.
know? So I was like, I'm just gonna have like 1 cup a day. I'm gonna limit to like at the house before I leave 1 cup
Yeah.
of coffee. Get on
Just
track.
use one.
This is going great.
Right.
Day 6, I wake up and my nicotine cravings just like shot through the
Really?
roof. Nicotine. I didn't
Yeah,
care about
right,
the coffee.
right,
Nicotine.
Right.
Next thing I know, I'm bumming a cig from a girl at school. You know where the story goes.
Okay. Right.
Bought a pack that night, another pack the next day.
Later, you're fucking handing out sexual favors. I see where you're
Dude,
going.
I smoked for 10 days. I smoked cigarettes for 10 days.
Bro, you went through a 10-day detox from coffee and jumped on to a
cigarettes.
10-day cigarette binge.
Binge. And then I gave that up, and now I'm back
Okay.
with a little like mini pod
Little
vape
vape.
and
Yeah.
a pocket full of lozenges.
Okay.
It's just like, it's so crazy how the drugs interact with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so many people struggle with nicotine specifically.
I wonder why. I wonder because I see this happen to people, and like now people ask me like, "How did you quit smoking?" And I'm not so sure I've got like the fucking answer. You know, my experience is what I've got, and it's kind of uncommon. It's like that. I've got there's those alcoholics you meet that they just stopped.
Yeah.
You know, and like okay, so it's there's not really a therapeutic value there, I don't guess. But people come to me and they ask, like, and I see so many people struggle with, like I quit smoking for, a fucking month and then I just pick it right back up. And it boils down to me. It's like, I don't use no matter what. And I kind of associate that with cigarettes because there's sometimes people are just kicking it. And I'm like, well, maybe I want to hit that. I miss a fucking good Newport every now and then, and it's like, well, I don't want to hit that. But then I know there's no such thing as just one. Mm-hmm. I've never used one of anything, nothing.
In my life.
Right. Fucking Lay's potato chip included, so there's not just one, and I don't fool myself with that anymore. But I see so many people struggle with it. And then the other thing is they use it as a coping mechanism. I was stressed out, so I smoked. Well, what the fuck did that do? Did it change it? No, man. It's just your mindset.
Super temporarily.
Right.
My buddy, you might know him, James Skelton from out there.
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I was hanging with him this weekend.
I love you, James.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I was hanging with him this weekend we had a Southeast Regional Refuge Recovery Conference, and I was hanging with him this weekend. And he just recently quit like last year, and he was like, "Cold turkey, bro."
Yeah.
He's cold turkey, dude.
Right.
This dude's got like long amount of clean time. Me and him would always smoke like a motherfucker at meetings.
Right.
He's like, just cold turkey, dude. Cold turkey, and here I am, like.
Well, but right. Everybody's journey is just different.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you look at it and see what you're holding on to. Is that bad though?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like one of those. It's just like the CBD cannabis debate. For every research study that says it's okay, there's 5 other studies that say it's bad.
I've seen vapes explode and cause legit damage. This girl I know, she had her fucking leg melted. I've seen the popcorn lung thing happen. And I don't think there's any long-term studies there. You know what it comes down to, man? It's like, do I feel convicted? And then I address it. If I don't feel convicted about smoking weed, then by all means, I'm going to go at it. But like, if I feel convicted about it, then I need to look at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't anything going into my lungs. I just don't see.
I can't.
What's
be
the
good.
point?
Right. You're breathing water vapor. That doesn't belong in there.
Nothing
Or
belongs in my
salts,
lungs
is that
besides
what-
oxygen. Yeah, salt, bro.
Yeah.
Salt, Nick.
Let me get some salt in there.
Salt, nicotine, water vapor. Just doesn't sound like we
Fucking
meth
science,
lab, dude.
man.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Right. You got some Walter White shit over there.
Oh man. So what's on the horizon for you, bro? Like where do you see this thing going?
Curing the world, bro. One junkie at a time. I don't know, man. I try not to future trip too much, you know?
I'm not a huge fan of long-term goals.
Okay.
For the reason that like I'm a fan of like working towards something, but I'm not a big fan of long-term goals because man, my long-term goals change by the minute, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
And here's the thing. I'm very aware of, I don't want to set myself up for failure because it's just discouraging as fuck, you know? And like I've had guys, some of my sponsees will be like, Mike, I'm slacking on my meetings, so I'm going to do a 90 and 90. And I'm like, bro.
If you can't come to a meeting.
Right. Let's start there. Yeah. But like, let's not jump off. You're going to commit to 90 and 90. I'm not denying that you can do it, but like if you're struggling now, why would you go to that extreme? Then you're gonna set yourself up for failure, and then you're gonna fucking doubt your whole program. So let's do 7 and 7, you know, and start somewhere there. And like so, those little kind of goals there, and sometimes it's just for fucking today, you know. Of course, like some days, bro, I'm just gonna stay clean. But I'm always, I have this passion to help people, and like it's legit in me. I have a certain amount of love for the addict, and I can't deny it. And I found this passion to where now when I go to work, it's not work, man. It's like I want to help somebody. And that comes with its own set of struggles, man. But, you know, it's like that's where I want to be. So I know that I'll stay doing that, you know, as long as people can look past my stupid fucking memes and my shirtless or sleeveless nightmare facade, you know, and like allow themselves to get to know
Summertime,
me.
baby.
Right, it's coming. I'm excited. You know, I'll be doing volleyball every Sunday. It's gonna be fantastic. But if people can get past that, and see that, you know, my intentions are pure, and I legit want to help people, you know, and like that's definitely, that's going to be the constant. Where that goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
No plans of like opening up stuff, getting into
maybe.
stuff, just
yeah, I don't want to confine it.
Being
you
of
know?
service.
Let's not put it in a box. You know,
Yeah.
that's fucking ever expanding. I'm gonna be of service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll go from there. I want to reach as many people. You know, when you start getting it, I'm sure you can relate. Like once I figured out that I'm not like this doomed junkie that's gonna die in a gutter somewhere or something. Like I want everybody to know it, and I want everybody to get it. You know, and like go from there. So fuck, man. I'm, you know, I might be mayor next year. I don't fucking know. That'd be dope. I think I got the junkie vote. I don't know how many
for
of us
sure,
are out there.
dude.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I was
I
gonna
might have to clean up the memes.
no.
I'm not so sure I'm willing
Not
to do
this
that.
day and age, man. Like a Trump, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
Trump on
Oh,
Twitter.
bro, and he's
Yeah.
entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
I can't believe somebody's not there, like smacking the phone out of his hand, like when he
Or
gets on
taking
Twitter.
it in the middle of the night and switching it
What are
out
you
for a
doing?
different phone. or
These
something.
240
Yeah.
characters are ruining you.
Yeah.
It's character assassination.
Yeah.
But I like to watch.
I'm telling you, dude, like you're definitely someone that's people in the community look up to.
Ah,
For real, dude.
I
Like
know.
I want you to like look at me in the eyes and own that shit.
I know it's a struggle. It's
Because
tough.
like it's authentic, right? Like I started off the show talking about like posting the memes and having a sense of humor and
Yeah.
being that loud dude that like
Yeah.
just like owns his shit and
Yeah.
like that the way that's how the newcomer connects, right? Because they can relate to you more than that whoever, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
and so people look up to you. I don't even know your crew or nothing like that, but like people look up to you, bro.
Yeah.
And like I think that that's something to be like proud of. Like this whatever you're doing, whatever you've done, whatever you've learned,
Right.
you've been able to like take all of those experiences, develop a skill set, apply it to your life, and then share it.
Right. Right.
Right?
It's, man, it's a double-edged sword, and it's humbling, man. I appreciate you pointing it out, and it's cool to see from an outside perspective that that's what it looks like, and that's what it is, and I have a certain amount of responsibility that I didn't ask for, you know, with this, and so I have struggled with that. Like people expect me to be this spiritual warrior or something, and then there's, you know, then there's also me, and I'm not this. And I might hold myself to that standard too, but I'm a loud, goofy fucking dude, man, and I love that about me, and I'm gonna be me, you know, and like, people come at me like I'll get some old timers, you know, and they're like, Mike, how are you posting that fucking ass eating meme, you know, when people look up to you, and I'm like, I don't know, man, it's me, and I'm.
Did you
finding
read it? It's hilarious.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Did you not fucking laugh? And they're like, well, maybe, but right, you know, but like it does come with its certain amount of responsibility. But I honestly, I use that for the greater good. You know, I recognize that people look up to me, and it's very humbling, but it's also mind blowing because I'm that homeless junkie. Like, who the fuck am I, man? You know, but I don't negate it, you know, and so I try to use it to the best of my ability, and it's only to help somebody, you know. And I try to make sure I bring it with love, and honestly, that may be why I'm looked up too, because I don't think I'd be given that gift if I was using it for something else. You know, I don't think the universe would allow it. I don't think that I would be given this amount of influence if I was doing something negative with it. It'd be taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you make any of those memes yourself, or do you have people make them for you?
No. I do have quite a few plugs. People send them to me. I probably post 98% of them are just finds, you know, and then, you know, it just goes with my sense of humor. Apparently, there's a lot more people out there just as fucked up as me, so it's a good feeling.
Dude.
Yeah,
there is.
But yeah, I make some of them. You know, most of the time it's just my buddies or something. I'll roast you up. You know.
I know somebody's asked you has had to have asked you this before.
Oh, here we go.
That big goofball, loud, wild, meme posting freak.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing any of the like open mic, like stand up gigs and shit, man?
So I did a set back in like right after high school, somewhere around there, 18, 19 years old, something like that. And it's tough. It's been a dream of mine, man. And it's definitely something I want to look into. I don't want to confine myself to
How prepared were you for that gig? Did you
and I had like 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me and you to sit here and I'll make you laugh. Get a crowd of people that don't know anything about me and then make them laugh. It's tough.
I'm gonna bounce an idea off of you. I actually talked to.
Oh, here we go.
I actually presented this to Lauren Garvey a while back, and
Okay.
we hadn't. We never really did anything with it, and I have not shared this publicly. But
Here we go.
I was talking with her.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Here it comes.
I was talking with her about like creating a writing club,
Okay.
getting together, like working on some material independently, and then
Okay.
getting together once a month for however long it takes to develop a brief set,
Okay.
and then going
A set consisting of
10 to 15 minutes.
what?
Fucking
Improv?
comedy, yeah.
Okay.
Jokes,
All right.
man.
I dig it.
Jokes.
Yeah, all right.
Just stories, dude.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if you want to do
Yeah.
an interpretive dance or what. I mean, I'm fucking down with
Fucking
that
rave, man.
too. I'll do that too.
And create like a, some sort of like recovery themed stand up show
Okay.
consisting of
Bro, that's a dope ass idea.
3 to 4 comics,
Yeah.
3 to 4 people, comics, wannabes,
Right.
who like, and I'm not talking about just like showing up at a open mic with like, some notes and shit. I'm talking about putting some effort into it
Yeah.
and like working on some solid material, like writing some shit out, right? And then fine tuning it, writing it out, setting up a recovery themed gig so that those who show up know what they're walking into. It's not like you walk up on stage and say, "Yeah, I'm Mike. I'm the fucking addict in recovery."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You know,
Right.
like they know what they're going. They know what they're showing up to. Whether it's like an event,
Recovery themed, meaning
just that they know that like the materials
it's gonna be recovery
related to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro, there's so many jokes we got.
I know.
You know?
Just in the stories, all I gotta do is add some punchlines and
Bro.
Yeah.
Right. We've got some shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the deal. Real life is funny. You know.
real life is funny.
No,
And when you go to a stand up show, like the good ones, that's what they're doing. All they're doing is telling stories.
Right. They're just telling the real. And Kevin Hart's talking about his kids. That's just fucking hilarious. You know? Right. So yeah, I can totally. That's a dope ass idea.
And like
and that
taking it like to like
there's
Sunrise
a therapeutic
or
value
different
to
place.
that.
Oh, it
man.
is.
You know.
It's a part of the whole entire thing that I was talking about like, like when I was using and when I was out there on the streets, like I was the last person to say that I would like create any type of like art. Like I just wasn't an arty person. I wouldn't write. I couldn't draw. I couldn't paint. I couldn't
Right.
do any of that stuff. I just wasn't interested in it. Right. So I never like, it never crossed my mind, but like the therapeutic aspect of just like what we're doing tonight
Right.
and creating something that people may or may not find value in.
Yeah.
You know,
There's that Mike guy again.
but like doing it in a way like so. Like my vision for NC Raw is to create this
Right.
place where we can
I
empower
love what you guys are doing, man.
empower people in early recovery to create their own whatever material,
Right.
whatever it is, whether it's
Yeah.
a podcast, whether it's a vlog, whether it's a stand-up comedy
Right.
routine,
It's a fucking meme.
whether it's a meme. We need an NC Raw meme production team,
Yeah,
like whatever
right.
it is,
Right. Find your
Find your
creative outlet.
find your creative outlet
Mm-hmm.
and then run with it.
Yeah.
So like, sit on that.
That's not a terrible idea. And the thing is, man, is like, I get this. So like at my last celebration, 3 years clean,
Which took place when?
November 10th, 2015 is my clean date.
Okay.
So it took place. I put it off, I think, after Christmas or something, maybe the beginning of January of this year, last December, something like that. But anyway, a lot of people that came up and spoke about me or whatever they did, like if they mentioned me, they're like, you know, some days, man, I'm down and out, and like I go to Mike for that laugh or that, you know, that humor has got some kind of therapeutic value. And so it's a gift, man. It's not anything that I've done. I didn't obviously train to learn how to fucking make you giggle.
And you're doing that with minimal effort.
Right.
So what would the outcome be
Right.
if you sat down for an hour a night
That's a good point,
and
man.
wrote down some shit
I appreciate your motivation.
and
here,
then
too.
fine-tuned it and rough draft it and then hit it
Right.
again and hit it again? You did it.
You know, Rogan talks about it, man.
I know.
You and I'm a big fan, but like he started out with like just writing down some dumb shit and then bombing,
Yeah.
which is just like life, man. Those rough fucking lessons have taught me the most, you know?
Yeah.
But so back the humor thing is like, it's definitely a gift, and I'm trying to learn how to reach the masses with it. Now, obviously, I'm offensive as fuck, so Mamaw ain't gonna dig my message, you know. Yeah, she's not coming out of church and going, I wonder what Mike's memes say today. She's not doing that. But like, I'm gonna reach whoever I can with it. But the thing is I enjoy. It takes the power away from me taking myself too seriously. You know, I'm not above, you know, the homeless junkie that I was, or you know, or anything like that. I don't need to be all uppity and shit.
So here's the miracle question.
Here we go.
What did you do before like memes were a thing?
Honestly, fuck, man. I would make, you know, stupid ass posts, but it's allowed me an outlet to make people laugh through other people. It's basically, bro,
Same
I'm
thing.
plagiarizing other people's jokes, really.
Mhm.
You know. And so, but I guess it's actually, it probably gives you an insight as to what my personality is, you know. And I definitely can't take credit for those memes, but like it shows you, you know, maybe I'm like a loud, goofy fucking guy. And then
Yeah.
it's such a weird combination too, bro. I'm coming to terms with like, this is who I am and I'm okay with it. It's been a process learning who I am for the very first time. I think did we mention it on here before?
The beginning on here.
Okay. So it's like learning who I am for the first time, and like I'll post a fucking stupid ass fucking vulgar ass meme, and then like, hey, my guy's celebrating a year clean, like let's all lift him up and rejoice, you know. And it's like, or I'll post some, you know, some recovery related thing, and then here I come with some garbage, and like, so it's definitely a battle, but that's who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I want to fucking make you laugh, and I want to talk about recovery.
But how many of those, you said you had like however many thousand friends
Yeah.
on there.
Friends.
And how many of those people like are you like in touch with on a regular basis?
Right. No, I mean,
And so for me, like a person who's sitting out here 50 miles away, observing at a distance,
yeah.
I see a meme come across my timeline that's just ridiculously filthy and hilarious. And I'm like, who posted that? I can get down with that dude.
Right, right.
Like before you showed up tonight, we had never met.
Right.
But just seeing what you post, I'm like, I can get down with this dude.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? I can relate to this cat.
So hopefully, and that is me being me, you know, and like, it's just on a very public format.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's dope. It's dope that, you know, some people can interpret that as, okay, this guy is this guy.
Yeah, that's what I totally did.
Yeah. that's
Totally,
dope.
no
All
doubt.
right.
Like totally did. What
That's
about
good.
like Twitter, Instagram, man? You get on any of that stuff?
I can't, bro. I can't fucking go into any more social media. I mean, yeah, it's
Well, if you go on
unmanageable.
Instagram, you go on Instagram and you post it on Instagram, you can share it. It automatically goes to Facebook and Twitter.
I don't need those. I don't need that avenue. Yeah, somebody else kept mentioning that, and then they're like, "I think you can make money on Instagram," and I'm like,
People do, man.
I cannot let this. It's already out of hand, you know. And I'm a junkie. I think we've talked. And
You
so,
are?
yeah. So I'll take it to a whole other level.
How many times you been in timeout?
Yeah, bro. Mark Zuckerberg is not a fan. Yeah, and he puts me in Facebook jail. I just got out, did a 3-day stint, you know, and then I just got out and I posted something with a dick on it, man. I don't know what I was thinking. And immediately, bro, it's like 10 seconds, done. Mike, go back. Just go back in jail. Don't fuck around. I'm like, shit. Yeah.
What is? I've never been in Facebook timeout. What is the process for like notifying you that?
It's immediate. There's a fucking It's ridiculous. There's a like a flag that comes up, and then that's in my notifications, and like I'm kicked out of everything, and then, you know, it says, "Hey, you." They try to church it up.
Violated,
you have
yeah.
violated our community standards, and then they show me the meme with a dick on it or something. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then you know what it is, man, is like you can see Facebook, so I can still see what you're doing. And I can see everything that's posted, but I can't react or comment or share or none of that. So basically, I'm like the special kid looking through the
shadow
glass,
ban kind of
licking the glass, watching all my friends play, and I can't come and fucking play. That's what it is. Yeah.
And it's so difficult to abstain
Oh, what do you mean?
when you're in jail.
Yeah, so I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to abstain, and I may or may not have a few aliases. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Old Johnny Rogers. Good guy.
hell of a man.
Yeah, right. That's where my addiction is at. You know, it's like I created a fucking alter ego to.
Well, people love it, dude. They do.
I hope so.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's hilarious. Yeah, dude. You want to wrap this thing up?
Sure.
It's
Fuck.
been an hour and a half. It's 8:30.
Fantastic. Look at that. Flew by.
Get you home at a reasonable hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't be out too late.
You got to work tomorrow?
Yep.
Do you?
I'll be at New Life office.
Are you going to be swinging by sunrise?
No. What time is that?
11 till 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to be there like morning. I'm going to probably leave about 1. I got to be back to work over here.
It's at what? 11 to 3.
11
It's like
a.m.
an
to
open
3. It's an
house?
open house. They're moving into a new, I guess I should just share this with everybody.
Yeah. Let's
Sunrise.
I totally support that. place.
Sunrise Community for Recovery. They're moving into like a new location, or they have moved to a new location. And
I heard
so
something about this.
they are
yeah.
having, I'm going to try to pull up the address real quick, but they're having an open house at their new location. So they have like guest speakers coming in,
Damn,
everybody
that's
that
dope.
works there. Donald McDonald's going to be speaking. I might be doing a little podcasting behind the scenes, talking to folks who come through. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Haywood Street Congregation.
I don't know where that is.
You don't know where that is?
But Google's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it's right outside on the outskirts of downtown. I'm not super familiar with Asheville, so it's right on the outskirts of downtown.
Not either. I live there.
For an extended period of time. So yeah, like a bunch of people are going to be out there checking it out.
So you should totally check that out. I'll be in my office until I'm going to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I'll be in there. I won't be able to attend, but Sunrise does some dope ass shit.
They do, man. They got it going on.
Yeah, and it's not all confined to a certain way to recover or none of that. Like, I wanted to touch on this before we close down, like the recovery model, and it's kind of the Seek Healing model, you know, of like not being attached to a certain outcome. We're so fucking hard on ourselves. I know I'm for me, you know, and like to not be attached to like, you know, if yesterday I'm shooting fucking heroin and today I'm eating Suboxone, then I'm recovering because I'm doing fucking better, you know, and I really dig that. Like, I want nothing more than for everybody to experience the peace that I have and the serenity with complete abstinence, you know. But it took me a long time to get there, and like that's what I want for everybody. But like, if your journey looks different, and if you're doing better than you were today, then you're recovering, and people need to know that like it doesn't need to have a certain outcome, you know.
I think that like I've come to a place where like if your journey looks different, not only do like I support it, but I want to know about it so I can
Right.
share that with other people.
Bro, if there was one way to do this, we'd all be doing that.
We'd all be cured.
Right.
You know, like,
Cured as fuck. You know? I'm working on it, but
You're close, right?
I'm so close. Yeah, but until then, I'll just keep at it.
Yeah.
And then when I'm cured, I'll probably just show up for you guys. So it's fine.
Hell yeah. Mike, dude,
Yeah.
you're a badass,
Thank
bro.
you, bro.
It's a pleasure to talk with you.
I appreciate you doing this and like getting this message out. There's so many different ways to recover, and you support that, man. And like this forum is perfect, man.
Yeah. I
Thank
think
you for inviting me.
It's
Thank
just
you for having
important to have these conversations, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know,
me. That's dope.
you're a badass, dude. We'll
Thanks,
talk
sir.
soon. Do you want to share your Facebook for people, or you want to keep that on the low? Find it if you find it.
Just look for my guy, Michelangelo Roberto. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Y'all want to follow that dude, man, for sure. Thanks for tuning in to NC Raw. Visit our website at www.ncraw.life to subscribe to the website. You can also visit our Patreon page where you can receive exclusive content.
Support it.
behind the scenes
go.
videos,
Yeah.
early
We
releases.
might do some push-ups after this.
Mike might do some push-ups
Pop the shirt off.
in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah,
Rain Hotel. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month to see Mike do push-ups naked in the hotel lobby.
Wait,
So
wait. Just subscribe. We'll talk about the rest later.
follow Michelangelo Roberto.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night. Peace
Thanks,
out.
man.